I want to talk to you about something called reactive abuse. Abusive relationships are demoralizing, confusing, overwhelming, frustrating, and destructive. Is it any wonder that the victims in these abusive relationships resort to anything they can do to try to make it stop? Often they spend years and hours and attempt after attempt after attempt to try to explain to the abuser what's wrong, what hurts, what isn't okay. And the abuser doesn't listen. The abuser shuts them up, abuses them more, tells them they're crazy, puts them down, gaslights them, does all the things again and again and again, telling them that your feelings are wrong, your beliefs are wrong, your thoughts are wrong, your perceptions are wrong. I'm right, you're wrong, you're crazy. So when they begin to doubt themselves, doubt their experiences, and doubt if there's even abuse going on, but sometimes in their reaction to this abuse, after time, they begin to react intensely. And sometimes that's after they've actually been validated that it is abusive. And then it happens again. And this just feeling of, I can't take this, comes over them. Now, when we are threatened, we go to our lower brain. That's the part of our brain that's in fight or flight or freeze, and not our higher brain, which says, hey, I'm in this situation. This person is being mean to me. This person is putting me down, but I don't have to take it. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to listen to it. I can protect myself. I can leave. I can not engage. That's the higher brain. The lower brain says, I'm threatened. I'm fearful. I'm scared. I feel crazy. I feel out of control. I feel panicky. I feel anxious. I feel traumatized. I don't know what to do. That lower brain is reactive. And that lower brain will react in whatever way it can to protect itself, in whatever way it can to respond, to fight back. And sometimes what that means is that an abuse victim reacts intensely. An abuse victim reacts in a way that is self-protective. So a therapist or a pastor or someone that is counseling a couple in the counseling room may literally look at them, and the abuser may appear to be very much in control, very reasonable, and the victim may be completely distraught, emotional, may be intense, may be reactive, may be angry, may be, yelling, may be accusing, may be, you might be thinking, wow, it's this person is the one that looks like they're unhealthy to me, the one that looks out of control, without understanding the trauma that an abuse victim goes through and why that person would be in that fight or flight, or why that person would react that way to something that the abuser says in the room that the person has had said to them many times before. And you're just at the point where you can't take it anymore. And you just act intensely to that person saying it. And you might be like, wow, the person that I see as dysfunctional, out of control here is over there, not this person that is being accused of being abusive. You got to know the dynamics of abusive relationships and recognize there's a difference between what's going on. The abuser is abusing and acting abusive out of a belief system, believes that there is a right or even a responsibility to abuse, to control, to mistreat, to demand immediate compliance. The abuse victim does not believe that they have a right to do that. And they are literally fighting back or responding, reacting out of fear, out of frustration, out of self-defense. It is not out of a belief system. Abuse victims need to be given compassion and grace instead of judgment and instead of blame. They need to be validated, they need to be understood, they need to be believed. Those are really, really important because they've been invalidated by the abuser for so long and told they're crazy that they now need someone to validate them and believe them so that they can get strong enough to say no to the abuse. Now, victims are already blaming themselves. They're already doubting themselves and feeling that the abuser might be right. Maybe they are causing the abuse. Maybe they are the ones that are crazy and the ones that are unhealthy. So when you doubt them too, or question them, or believe the abuser over them, then you are re-traumatizing them. So you've got to make sure that you don't blame them, that you don't start judging them, that you believe them. They need to be empowered and supported so they can get to the point where they can stand up against the abuse. So if you are in an abusive relationship and you are really upset at your behavior and you're like, what is wrong with me? I can't believe I'm flipping out. I can't believe I'm going crazy. I can't believe I'm throwing things and I'm screaming at this abuser and I'm, oh my gosh, I got angry enough to even push this person. I'm going to tell you that you're at a dangerous point for yourself. You've got to recognize that this is you fighting back. This is you feeling cornered, you feeling victimized, and you are acting out of fight and fright and flight. And that's normal. That is your protective part of your brain rising up and saying, you're in danger here. This isn't good for you. But it's dangerous to be at that point with an abuser for several reasons. Number one, you don't know if you would flip out and possibly be in a situation where you would do something really crazy, hurt the person. The abuser can be very manipulative and is looking for power and control. So you don't want to give that abuser, you throw something at them, you hit them, you do something, and that person calls the police and has you arrested. Now you're going to have the order, the restraint order put on you. You're not going to be able to see your kids. You're going to be one down in a situation. If you were to divorce, you're going to be the one in the domestic violence program for offenders instead of going to a victim support group. So you've got to be really careful that you don't let that happen, because an abuser is really looking for a way to have power over you. And that would be a great way to have it. So don't let yourself be at risk with that. Don't let yourself be at risk of losing custody of your children or having a restraint order against you. Do not give an abuser that power. So when you're at that place, you got to get out. You got to separate. You got to get yourself away so that you can calm down, figure out what's going on, get some boundaries put up, decide if you still need to be in the relationship. This person can go get treatment. You've got to take care of yourself. But you've also got to recognize if you are reacting in ways that make you upset, if you are finding yourself getting super upset when the abuser does something to you, then or you're acting out of character. So one of the ways to tell the difference between reactive abuse and abuse is that if you tell an abuser you've done, you just abused this person, you just screamed at this person, you were discounting, you were angry, the abuser is going to be like, no, I wasn't. And if I was, too bad, I have a right to do that. But somebody who is reacting abusively out of a fight or flight reactive abuse stance is going to feel bad about their behavior. They're going to feel embarrassed. They're going to feel ashamed. They're going to feel uncomfortable. They're going to feel like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? That is not good. That is not okay. That's bad. I don't want to act that way. That's going to be the difference. That's one way you're going to be able to tell. So just wanting you to distinguish between recognizing what you're doing intentionally and what you're doing out of that stance of your lower brain, which is reacting, and what that's telling you about how you need to protect yourself. And just a couple of, I give you scripture verses a lot of times for you to consider. it says Proverbs 10:32, the lips of the righteous know what finds favor, but the mouth of the wicked only what is perverse. So abusive people think their actions are right, but when you're reactively abusive, you recognize when you act poorly. And that's a huge, huge difference. So I hope this has helped you. And if you need to know more about abuse, you can watch more of my videos. There's a lot of people out there that have some really good books and resources. Be happy to tell you about those if you want to write to me and ask. And all of my other resources will be really helpful for you too, in terms of getting stronger, getting rid of your self-doubt, just validating what you're going through, giving you skills and tools to navigate your difficult relationships. So thank you for watching this video, and please feel free to write me if you have any questions or needs, and just God bless you.